Kia ora koutou, ko Nico tuku ingoa, no Te Aroa, no Tūhourangi, no Hāmo, no Tokarau, no Airangi hoki. Today I'm wanting to talk about just one aspect of my PhD, which is about reconnecting through research. So this is in support of the Tūhourangi Tribal Authority, and how this has been an opportunity to reconnect through my research to my whanau, to the wider whanau, and to my whakapapa. I'll try to get through the sad part at the start quickly so I don't cry, and then we can get on to some more funner stuff. So this PhD I started in 2021, and it's through the strong encouragement of my family, and specifically my dad. That was the reason why, and I saw an opportunity to connect to Te Aroa and through my Tūhourangi lens, a place that I knew but I wasn't very familiar with or necessarily comfortable with. Unfortunately, I lost both my nannies on the left in 2021 and my granddad's closest brother in 2022, and then I lost my mother-in-law in 2022 at the end of the year, and a few months ago I lost my dad to a heart attack. So it's been a huge journey of shit. My life's been turned upside down. What's actually really important? And what's been important is your whānau, your whakapapa, your taiao, and what that means. Even though each of the passing aways was unexpected, it gave me a time to actually reiterate what my purpose was, why am I connecting to these people, and what am I trying to achieve? And it's given me a really meaningful purpose. Luckily, I've got really good people that are there for me, and I'm very lucky to have a purpose with a young whānau with my partner Shelby, our son Altudor, and her nanny Judith. And it's about a reconnection not only for myself but for my wider whānau, so that way if one person treads the path first, the others coming behind, it's a bit easier for them. So for today, I just want to focus on three aspects of my research. The first part, mātauranga informed decision making. So how have I kind of conceptualized that in the research? What does that mean for me? Strengthening my pepeha and Kākahi and Lake Tarawera. Where are they? What do they need from us, and what can they teach us? So mātauranga, I just defined mātauranga through the concepts of pūrākau, maramataka, whakatauki, whakatauaki, and that informs how we do things, why we do things, when we do things, and what things we should do. So one whakatauki is ngā Kākahi whakairo o Rotorua, which is talks about when there's a pakanga, how the Te Aroa toa would move in and out of their flanks in the movements of the Kākahi on the lake bottom. And so while I was out at Lake Tarawera, we were having a look around, and you can kind of see the lake bottom, and then you're able to actually see the path off the Kākahi in the sand. And it was quite interesting because I'm standing here with a bathoscope, which is kind of like a traffic cone with a plastic on the bottom. So I'm standing there looking around. And it's one of those moments where you kind of felt like your tūpuna kind of looking straight onto you, and you're connecting everything into the tile. And that's been one of the things that's really reinforced that mātauranga, or more correctly, taonga tuku iho, is a practical knowledge base that tells us all of the things that we need to know. And then the second part is my research focus is strengthening my pepeha. So being able to go up to my maunga for the first time, going to my moana for the first time, all of these have been opportunities that have sort of whakatinana, or actually realised my pepeha and my whakapapa, and actually connected me to a place. And it's been such an amazing journey and a reason or justification to come down and meet people and form really close bonds with these people as I moved forward. And so Kākahi and Lake Tarawera, so I've been trying to understand where they are, what do they need from us, sort of like how the presentation was talking earlier, that some of the species like hornwort can really interfere with the ability of them to move around, but also Kākahi are one of those species that rely on others to thrive, sort of like how a person relies on their whānau to thrive. And those whakaaro has really enhanced the idea of that kākahi is not just something that is a kai source or a thing in the tile, but it is actually a real tangible connection to us as people and the tile as part of our whakawhanaungatanga. And so I just wanted a couple of like cool little clips that we showed from when I was out in the water. And this has been like the coolest thing, is to go from not even knowing kākahi were really around or interacting with Kōura, to see them out in the daytime just cruising around. And that's been like a huge sort of highlight, is just actually being able to be in the tile, connecting with people who actually mean something to you, and also they all have the same purpose of how can we think about the future. And these are just the last couple of slides on the videos from when I was out in Lake Tarawera a couple of months ago, just kind of showing how pristine some of the lakes can kind of look. But I guess that threat that is always still there of, if we don't actually start doing the right things, we can lose a lot of our taonga. And one of the most interesting things I found about Lake Tarawera, which is similar to other, I guess, lakes, is how diverse the different habitats can be within it. So this is like one area where it looks quite blue and pristine, and then here's another area which, just the difference, because I guess of the eruptions and all the geothermal around, there's a lot of different habitats that change every bay to bay, and then there's the Maunga Tarawera. Yeah. And I'll just finish with one of my favourite photos at the moment and hand it over to Kushla. Kia ora.
Kia ora, yeah, my research actually came about because I had to complete 150 hours within a organisation to complete my business management degree. And I said, if I'm going to do this, I want it to be within a Māori organisation, so that Māori can benefit from me doing this mahi. So the opportunity came up within Tūhourangi Tribunal, and being a Tūhourangi descendant, I thought, this was awesome. It was a tile research project, which fitted for me really well. So each time I'd go out, I'd always make sure I had one of my 3 teenage sons with me. My eldest one, Ian's here to tautoko me today. That one up there, that one, that's my middle one, Angus, and there's going to be some other slides with my youngest one who's disabled, who also comes out with us. So each time we'd go out and do our mahi, I always had one of my kids with me. So yeah, to start off, we knew we had limitations. When I joined, I was told that this research project no one wanted to do because it involved going out to Tarawera and monitoring catch. And the employees currently didn't want to do that because of the distance. It's half an hour from town. But then with roadworks, potholes, you can easily add another half an hour onto that. Also the work conditions, this is Te Arawa. People are a bit more interested in looking good rather than getting out in the environment. So I says, okay, I can do it. It also followed maramataka, and that required weekend work, and they don't like to do that either. So I says, that's all right, I'm going to take my kids. So we had just one research question, which was this: is there access to enough kai in Tarawera to sustain a Tūhourangi whanau, which was going to be my whanau. We were going to be the guinea pigs, which I don't mind. Anything to do with kai, I will definitely put up my hand. We began this research, me and my kids, and because of what we like to eat, we were going to target mainly Kōura and Tuna. So we we'd start off setting our nets. We were given as our equipment 6 hinaki, 1 warata, 12 bamboo stakes and a pair of waders. And it's funny because over summer when we would go and swim out at Tarawera Lake, because it's owned by really flash people around there, you know, like no one I know lives out there. But when we'd go and swim out there, a lot of people would that live on the shores and that would close their curtains and just pretend you aren't there. But as soon as you get a Māori in a pair of waders and with a clipboard and they're taking notes, they'll come out, oh, what are you doing? You know, can we do something to help? So I thought that was really cute. My initial observations of the lake, so I used to fish this lake in the streams and the inlets with my koro when I was younger, so I knew this research was going to be right up my alley. I knew everything about it. I was told how to fish it. I was there all the time. My koro would, it's buzzing. My koro would gaff the banks while we'd be collecting watercress. He'd always take out me and my cousins there. So I knew exactly what the lake should look like. But when you're there having to do it at a research capacity instead of just out there swimming and sunbathing, then you're looking at things like, the water is really dirty, the water level's quite high. So all these things that we noticed, and because I hadn't gone back there and eeled for so many years, I didn't realise that there was access that was now restricted, and this was the stream that I wanted to get to do our monitoring and eeling, because this is where I knew this is where I'd go with my koro. But now there's a trout weir that was erected in the early 2000s, and since then Māori aren't allowed to access that stream because the trout use it to go up and spawn. So even trying to get photos of it, we weren't allowed because it's heavily signposted that it's monitored. They've got cameras, and every time I'd go there just to take pictures, Doc would turn up and say that I have to leave. And I said, no, it's all right, I'm actually from here, I'm Tūhourangi, and they're like, we don't care. So these pictures are actually off the net, because I just couldn't even get one. So our research began, and by week 3, all we'd found out was that cockabillies prefer chicken liver over lamb's fry. It's my middle son there with our dog Joseph. Then by week 7, we'd covered all our maramataka phases, and we started to double our net setting rate just to produce anything, because it wasn't going to plan. And then by the end of our project, with our 6 hinaki, we had done 10 sets. Each time we'd left our nets in for 30 hours because we were monitoring maramataka too. We didn't want to be going to a different cycle, so we'd always make sure that we set it one day, we'd collect it the next. So it ended up by being an equivalent of 1,800 hours that our net was in for, which is equivalent of setting 1 hinaki for 75 days continuously. And all we caught in that whole time was 41 Kōura, 22 of which were too small to eat, and 7 tuna, all were undersized. And these are caught over the whole duration. These weren't just in one go. So when we catch 1 Kōura at a time, of course we're just putting it back. We can't just collect these up for the whole time. And then we'd found that a whanau member had forgotten about a hinaki that they'd set months ago, and in it contained, we were guessing it was down for about 4 months, and in it contained that 4 tuna, so 2 were undersized and 2 were at 2 metres, 6 Kōura. By that time, one of those Kōura were half-eaten and a half-eaten seagull. So we decided that, and these were all alive except for the half-eaten Kōura and the half-eaten seagull, but we decided, if they've been caught in there for 4 months, we weren't going to keep the 2 that were big enough. So we let everything go in there because that was our way of giving back. But even though we didn't get to feed our whanau, The whole experience was neat for me to share my experience that I'd had with my koro and connect to my maunga, connect to tūpuna and connect with my kids and connect with my whanau and just share with them that knowledge. So, yeah.
Pera te auahi ka pātua I Tarawera kai raro I tiho ko ngāti tāui I moera I te whenua haere rā I te iwi I ki te pō uri uri ki te pō tango ki te iwi te pō Arohi rohi ana taku nei titiro ki te puke I te kumete e kai raro I tiho ko te tini a te kura I a Tūhourangi. Kia ora.